and with those issues comes complications, and with complications come drama, and with drama comes back and out. Hello wonderful people, welcome back to my channel. It's Book Craze with Giselle. How are you going? How are things? What's up? What's the scene? Thank you so much for subscribing. I'm having so much fun doing this. However, y'all, today I am going to talk about some books that I want to read in the month of February. Some of these books were released in 2020, some were released in January, and some are coming out this month. So let's get into this video. Give this video a thumbs up, a like, share it, and don't forget to subscribe. What are you waiting for? It's all about juice up inside here, right? Some juicy stories. These books that I am about to mention are books that I plan to read all because they're so interesting and I'm really excited to get to read them. I know some of these authors that I'm about to mention, they write really exciting stories. Love their books. Some of them I'm going to read for the first time, but it's all good with giving new authors a try. And once their story seems like it's something that I'm going to like, that it's something that I'm going to enjoy, I'm all down for it. So first up that I want to talk about is January James, A First Class Act. Never heard about this author, but you know what? I discovered it on Bookstagram. So thank you for those who recommended Bookstagram to me. I'm loving it. And you can also check me out there. I do try to post daily on Instagram. So First Class Act is about this girl. She has like a juvenile record, and because of the career that she wants to get into, she believes that she has to, she needs to show that she's from a privileged background in order to get the opportunity that she wants to get. So she pretends to be something she's not, and you know what? She ends up falling for the CEO of the company that she works for. I'm like, okay, how is this going to end? I'm like, okay, you're pretending to be someone you're not, then you start this affair with your boss, and people find out, like, how is this going to play out? Is she still going to continue working at that company? I don't know. Maybe he's going to fall for her and they're just not going to care. They're going to continue with their romance. I have no idea, but we'll find out when I read it during this month. I'm hoping that it is good. I'm hoping that this story just sucks me in from the beginning because I love stories like that. So we'll see. Let me know. Have you read any books by January James? From the reviews I have read, A Class Act, it says that Lottie and Marcus has this great, fabulous chemistry. So I'm hoping, that it's all sizzling and it's all hot and spicy. And yeah, let's go on to the next book. What I forgot to mention is that the books are various types. So I have some biker romance in here. I have some mafia romance in here. I have just, some friends to lovers. I have enemies to lovers. I have arranged marriages. It's just a mix of different books because you know what is life without variety? You need to mix things up and keep it interesting. Next up, I have like a really sweet story written by Aubree Pynn. It's called Wants and Needs. It's this husband and wife story where the wife, she feels that she has been neglected. She has been married to this guy for 13 years. She has raised 3 boys and she just feels neglected in this relationship. She feels as though her wants and needs are not being met. So she decides to file for a divorce, and throughout the stories, the husband trying to rekindle and just win back his wife. So I'm really interested in that. I'm like, hey, a second chance of love, or would it be considered a second chance of love? I have no idea. So we're gonna see how it goes. I'm all about trying to win back the one you love. I love those stories, especially when I have read, some really hardcore mafia, deep thriller, suspense, romance. Like I need to read something like, sweet. So I'm hoping that I get it from this book. Another book that I am super excited to read is written by Sirrah. It is book 2 in the Surrender series, and it is called Unrequited. Like, I have read book 1, and book 1 was really good. It's with Connor and Novelty, and you do see these characters, Quentin and Fatima, mentioned in book 1. So this is their book. So apparently Fatima and Quentin had, they have some history. It didn't work out because Quentin is like the golden boy, he's like royalty, and Fatima is this black girl. She does hair and stuff like that for a living. So it is an interracial romance, and Quinn is expected to marry a particular type of woman, and Fatima is nothing like what he should be into. But Quentin wants some chocolate in his life, dark chocolate in his life. So we're gonna see how this story plays out, because I am rooting for Fatima and Quentin, and I'm super excited that they have their own series. This book came out in 2020, and again, I love the first book. It's one of my all-time favorite interracial romances. So I'm hoping, hey, we probably have another winner. Next up, I want to read a dark romance series written by Serena Akeroyd, and it's called Filthy Freakers series, and they're all standalone. They follow different individuals in each book, and I'm like, oh, I gotta read this. The first 3 were published in 2020, and the last one was published in January. So I'm like, whew. And it's dark. The covers, you should see the covers. I love the covers. The books are filthy, filthy rich, filthy dark, and filthy sex. So I'm like, Giselle, you had to read that, right? You had to read that. I love me some dark romance. I love me some thrillers. I love me some romantic suspense. So I'm like, girl, you need to read that. I have no idea about this writer's writing style, this author writing style. I'm like, I think it's gonna be good. It looks good. I saw the books advertised on Bookstagram. I'm like, whew, I never knew I could find books on Bookstagram, but I'm like, hey. Next up, I have heard so much talk about Fiona Cole's Voyeur series. I'm like, okay, I need to read this book. But before I start reading that series, I want to start with her new series that she came out with in December, and it is the Blame It on the Alcohol. Like, hello, that's what we do, right? We blame everything on the alcohol, right? The first book in that series is Blame It on the Champagne, honey. So I want to read this because it says, there's only one thing to do when you wake up married to your brand new boss, whom you hate but cannot resist. You blame it on the champagne. So I want to read this. I think this is probably going to be the first book that I read in this month, but I'll keep you posted, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know which one I read first from this list. So, good reviews about Fiona Cole. I'm excited to read one of her books, and I cannot wait to recommend some of her books that I read. So we're going to go on to the next book on my TBR for February. So these other books that I'm going to discuss are books that are going to be released this month, right? This month, so I'm excited for them. First up, we have books that are going to be released in February 2020. Made it on my list of my TBR for this month. First up, we have Lily Harlow, Hell, and it is an interracial romance. I discovered this book on Amazon. When I read the summary, I'm like, I should probably give this a try. So it centers on a second chance at love with a secret baby. So apparently this guy, he spent some time in jail, and he did it to protect his woman. And now he's out, and this woman finds that he's not the person that he used to be. So it says, hell, that's what they call Blackford Prison. Because of me, that's where Julian has spent his last 5 years. He still makes my heart race, but he's not the man I loved. Now he's cold, ruthless, dangerous, and will stop at nothing to get what he wants, including me. Like, and Julian, I'll do anything to protect the woman I love, including spending 5 years locked away. Time in hell changes a man, but it didn't change my love for my angel Nicole. Very sweet, right? I still want her more than my next breath, even if she's keeping a secret from me. Nicole is mine, and I'll destroy anything that tries to come between us. Now you tell me, I would read that, right? I would read that because it sounds like something happened in the past. Julian was locked away. He comes out, but it had things Nicole wasn't telling him. So now, he's on a path to get back Nicole, make her fall in love with him. But I think there's going to be some twist. Had to be some sort of kind of plot there, because I know this is not as it seems to me. So I'm quite interested in reading Hell by Lily Harlow. Next up, we have another interracial romance that I want to read. You'd see, I have a thing for interracial romance as well. So this one is written by Evelyn Sola, and it is called Broken. It follows Noah and Julia, and apparently they are high school sweethearts, and Julia is planning to spend the rest of her life with her soul mate. It was an instant love from the beginning, and then something happened. She's left broken-hearted. It took her 3 years to try to put her life back together. And after those 3 years, just so Noah came walking back into the picture like, hello. And he's like trying to win her back, but he's not the same person that he used to be. Julia is probably hesitant about, going back into a relationship with Noah. So it's an interracial romance, second chance at love. And from the reviews I read, some people were crying while they read this book, and I love emotional books. I love books that play with my heart, that play with my mind, and play with other things that I'm not going to mention. So I'm excited to read this book. It's a new author. Never read anything by her before. So, you know what? I realized 2020 is going to be a year of where I try new authors. Next up, we have a book written by Endiya Carter, and it's called Need You by Me. So the cover, I love the cover of the book. I love the name of the book. It sounds interesting. I read the review on this book. I found it on Kindle Unlimited, and it centers on a character named Jamie. And Jamie, her father is a pastor, so she probably grew up in this religious household, and he's probably very strict. And she reaches a point where she can't take it anymore because her parents are downright nasty. She moves into town where she meets Marshall. And Marshall, he's fighting his own demons, and they get together. I believe it's just they're attracted to each other, but it's not where they just jump into bed together. So I don't know much about it, but from the reviews that I saw on Goodreads, I'm like, I need to give this book a try. I need to give this author a try. She's a new author to me. I'm like, let's see. I don't read much books with any sort of religious aspect in it, where the father or the parents are some sort of pastor or preacher or something like that. I don't read those books at all. But this one, it piques my interest, and I'm like, you know what? Let me try it. If Marshall, turned her down when, she approached him, I'm like, okay, that means, he has some issues going on. And with those issues comes complications, and with complications come drama, and with drama comes back and out. So I'm like, I'm going to read you. So up next we have Bella Jewel. She came up with a new series called The Turf War, and book 1 is going to be released this month, and it is called Schmiker. That's the name of the book. I love Bella Jewel's romances. She writes really good MC romances. She has never let me down in any of her books. I love all her MC series that she wrote. So I'm really excited to try this one. Biker Schmiker. So it centers on this woman, this 25-year-old woman. You know, she has her life together. She runs a cafe in town. Very intelligent, independent, hardworking, you name it, she has it. She has those qualities. But in come this biker club that moves in a garage where she shares parking. You know what's going to happen. They're rude, they are loud. She sees half-naked women and she just can't take it. So she wants to try maybe to persuade them to move out because she's not having it. And you know, bikers are like super sexy in the books anyway, so she probably falls for one. I'm thinking it's the president, if I'm not mistaken. So I really want to read it. It sounds interesting, and I love Bella Jewel MC romances. So I know I'm not going to be let down, and I know I'm going to enjoy it. I just wish it had like more of this Till 4 series to read. The last book that I want to read is by Zoe Blake, and it is called The IVanov Crime Family. The first book in this series is called Savage Vows, and it's a Russian mafia romance series, and it sounds so good. So it says, I took her innocence as payment. She was far too young and naive to be brothel to a monster like me. I would bring only pain and darkness into her sheltered world. That's why she ran. I shouldn't, right? I should have just let her go. She never asked to be married into a powerful Russian mafia family. None of this was her choice. Unfortunately for her, I don't care. I own her. And after 3 years of searching, I have finally found her. My runaway bride was about to learn disobedience has consequences and punishments. So I'm seeing that it is a BDSM erotica romance, and y'all are thinking, what is up with this girl? Yeah, I ask that question all the time. I'm like, for someone that studied social work and psychology and stuff like that at university, I'm like, but you know what? I do this because it's fun. I read because, you know, it's just, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why I like these books, but I just totally enjoy it. So I can't wait to get into Savage Vows. So that one was released in January. Then book 2 is going to be released this month, and it's Vicious Oath, a dark mafia arranged marriage romance. And then book 3, which is going to be released in March, is Betrayed Honor. So I'm like, hey, I'm all for it. So this brings me to the end of my list. Some of these books were released last year. I'm going to read those. Some were released in January, and some are going to be released this month. Most of them I'm very super excited to read. Like, it's very hard to choose which one I'm going to start with, and I'm hoping that I can get through this list this month. Yeah, I want to read all of these books this month. Yeah, I'm going to do my review for some of these books, maybe on Goodreads. You're going to see what I'm reading, because I'm going to post what I'm reading when I'm reading on Instagram. So make sure and follow me there. So that brings me to the end of my book TBR. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. I'm super excited to communicate with you guys. I tend to respond to all of the comments that are left there. Hopefully they're all positive comments. We are all about positivity here. We like that relaxed island vibes. I think I'll do a video sharing like a Caribbean soca reggae playlist for some of these books that I've read, and probably I'll do that probably with a book review or something. I don't know, but thank you for watching until the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, like, and hit that notification bell so you will know every time I post a video.